This video is going to demonstrate how to draw rectangles. It's a pretty simple tool, and actually you've been drawing rectangles this whole time when you've been doing zoom window, viewports, as well as the selection boxes that you've done in previous videos. Now in the new drawing, of course, we need to type units, and we need to change it from decimal to architectural. And now what we can do is we can go to the Home tab and to the Draw panel and find the Command button for the rectangle. Now, unlike the Arc button, there is only one type of rectangle command that we can work with. You can also type rectang to start the command. I'm going to go ahead and click on the button, and my cursor tells me, hey, specify your first corner point. Okay, CAD. Click and you'll notice that the rectangle attaches to your cursor. Now I can draw this in any direction that I want to. I'm going to draw it over here, draw it down here. I'm just going to go down this direction, and the next click I do is going to finish the rectangle. And basically that is a free-handed rectangle. Pretty simple, right? Once the rectangle's been placed, you can select it and you can use the blue grips to change how it looks. But do you see these flat blue grips? They're located at the midpoint on each side of the rectangle, and if you click on them, it allows you to stretch or shrink the rectangle and your choice. I can also do some funky maneuvers like, ooh, look at this, I'm creating a rhombus. See, I told you were going to use geometry again. You can also just click on a corner grip and you can actually change the way that the rectangle looks. So it's a very flexible tool. It can be dragged and drawn out in any shape, and I can still click on the flat grip to stretch or shrink it as I need to. So go ahead and pause the video, experiment with the rectangle command a little to better understand how it behaves. I'm going to go ahead and delete the rhombus that we created. And sometimes we want to create a rectangle that has real world dimensions. So for instance, if I want to create a 6-inch long by 9-inch high box, I can do that with the rectangle command, but there's a little extra step into it. So to demonstrate this, I'm just going to go ahead and click on the rectangle again, and I'm going to specify the first point. But before I choose the second point, I want you to look at the command bar. And you see that there's some options that CAD is giving us, and one of them is to create a box based on dimensions. So the word dimensions is down there. Do you see how the first letter of dimensions is highlighted in blue? That means I can type the letter D, enter, and it opens up a new mode, I want to call it, where I can actually type the dimensions in. So it says specify the length for your rectangles. So I'm going to type in 6 inches, enter. Now it wants to know the width that I want for my rectangle. 9 inches is what I'll put in, and voila, we have a beautiful rectangle at 6 inches by 9 inches. Sorry, sometimes you have to speak French to your CAD. Now before I can do any command, notice that the rectangle is not done yet. It actually wants me to place the rectangle in one of the 4 quadrants based on that first point that I gave it. So if I want it here, I just click, and now the rectangle is drawn, and you can even measure it. This should be 9 inches. It sure is. And the other side should be 6 inches. So let's do that again. Let's draw another box. Rectangle, specify your first corner. I'm just going to go ahead and type D for dimensions. Let's do 8 inches for the length and 2 inches for the height, and there is my rectangle. And remember, in order to finish, I have to actually place it somewhere, and we'll just go ahead and place it right there by clicking. So go ahead and pause the video, practice making a couple of rectangles using specific dimensions, and practice placing rectangles as you see fit. Now, in addition to creating rectangles, we can actually create polygons, which are shapes that have more than 4 sides. And the polygon command button is located in the drop-down arrow area associated with the rectangle. So if I click here, here's the polygon tool. When I first click on the polygon command button, it automatically prompts me at my cursor, "Hey lady, how many sides do you want?" Well, let's do a six-sided object and hit enter. Now my cursor is saying, "Hey lady, where do you want the center of your polygon to be?" Oh, let's say we want it right here. The next thing that happens, it says, "Hey, do you want to inscribe this in a circle, or do you want it circumscribed about a circle?" Now on my CAD, it actually doesn't do anything. There's no circle. It doesn't create a circle or anything like that. It might on yours. So it's kind of up to you what you want to do. I'm just going to go ahead and say inscribed in circle. And now it wants to know, kind of like specify the radius of the circle. So do you see how my six-sided object, it's looking for a radius? So I can either freehand it by just moving my cursor and sizing it as I want to, or I can tell it a specific radius. So let's do 12. There is my 12-inch radius six-sided polygon. So to demonstrate that one more time, I'm going to come over here to Polygon. I tell it how many sides I want. Let's do 10 this time. Hit enter. Specify the center of the polygon. We'll do circumscribed about a circle this time. And notice that I'm going to do the free-handed technique where I can make it as big or as small as I want to. And we're done drawing a polygon. That's all there really is to it, so it's not too bad, right? So in this video, you learned how to create a rectangle, how to draw them free-handed and with dimensions, and you also learned how to draw a polygon shape.